we got this new AiBao from Walkera. This is a pre-production sample, so this is not really the finished model, but it at least the multicopter itself works flawlessly already. Just the applications are not quite finished yet. What is special about this is that this has that augmented reality. So it has a 4K camera, and you connect a tablet or a mobile phone through the Wi-Fi connection to this helicopter, and you will see the image from the camera in the tablet or in the phone, and the GPS and the brain of this multicopter will also generate virtual objects on that screen. So for example, you can have an FPV racing track, and you can fly through the gates, but these are virtual gates of course, and it will keep the score for you, and of course hitting the objects there or the gates there will not do any damage. There are also 2 game modes in here, so you can fly and you can collect some coins in the air and some boxes and whatever, and these are all very good practice for flying, and especially for like FPV racing practice. But of course, this being a digital image through the Wi-Fi, it's not really real time. It's quite close to that. Now there's a 0.3 seconds lag, so it's okay for practice, but for fast-paced racing, it's not still fast enough. It should be almost instant. But maybe when the applications get improved, or maybe we get a little bit less lag. But it's okay for practice now, but not for real FPV racing where you go like over 100 kilometers per hour. Then that 0.3 seconds is already too much. So this has a Sony's 4K camera. Here on the side we have micro SD card where it records the video or the images that you take. Here in the back we have the battery. It's a 5200 milliamps battery, and it's a high voltage LiPo, so it's 7.6 volts, but it's a 2-cell. Normally that would be 7.4 volts, but this is high voltage, so it has that extra 0.2 volts. It flies 20 minutes, and it flies actually very well. We have flown this and also tested all the applications now, and you can see that the Walkera has learned from the FPV racing helicopters that they have done before this one, so that it's very sharp flying, and it can land very fast and not start shaking like normal multicopters do. That you can feel that the flight controller and the ESCs inside are really fast response. And then there's the transmitter. This is the new transmitter. Previously we had the Walkera F8 model, and that hasn't been really published yet, but this is a new version of that already. This is called F8E, E meaning, I guess, economy, because this has less channels than the F8. F8 was a 18-channel radio. This is a 12-channel radio. There are a few things missing from this because of that. There were these kind of roles to control the gimbal in the F8 version. Also the buttons here in the rear, they don't work in this version. They don't do anything. And we already sent the sample back to the Walkera, so I don't quite remember if there were any differences in the front. I guess maybe some switches there were in that model more. But here the switches anyway there's like a automatic landing, automatic takeoff button, and then there's the return to home button, and then there's the on-off button. And here the gimbals to control the multicopter normally. What is new about this is the flight mode switch. The flight mode switch is now operated in two phases. So first of all, you choose the flight mode you want to activate, and once you want to activate that, then you press the button in the middle, which is pretty clever, as normally if you have many flight modes on one switch, when you go from first one to the last one, then you have to go through all of them. I mean, the helicopter might do something before you reach the last one. But yeah, now you can set what you want and activate with the button. Here's this kind of small controller, this joystick, but this doesn't do anything with that AiBao. I think this can be used for controlling gimbal or something like that. These both, the transmitter and the helicopter, they both have the Wi-Fi link. So and you have two applications for Wi-Fi. So one is the AiBao Go, which you use for the games and the FPV practice, and it connects directly to this helicopter or this multicopter. And then you have the ground station application, and that connects to the transmitter itself. The ground station application can be used for making waypoint flying and setting waypoints on the Google map and then activating the automatic flying. Also, it can be used to adjust the camera settings and so on. And all I did go through that ground station application very briefly, because it only works with iOS nowadays. We have flown this with Android system now. The Android system works fine. It works only with pure Android system, so it works with mobile phones like HTC, the ones with the Google operating system like the LG Nexus and Sony Xperia and the Motorola mobile phones. We tried this with several mobile phones and operating systems, so we found that it didn't work with Samsung or Huawei, and we had some trouble with the Asus as well. On Apple, I guess they work on all things. We didn't try on the iPad 2, but at least it works on iPhone 6, so it should work with the newest operating system, and on the iPad 4. Maybe we go and fly these. We have flown these now with the Android system, and we will show you all the flying modes and how the AiBao Go application works with the virtual reality. So let's go to the field actually to our frontier to test it.
Okay.
Now we are going through the flight modes. This has 4 flight modes, whereas the first being the manual mode. The manual mode, it will hold the altitude, but there's no GPS hold. And the manual mode, this is the fastest. It will go up more than 100 kilometers per hour. Second one is the GPS hold mode. This is a rather normal GPS hold mode, and it's you can fly it in this GPS mode as well, but it's relatively slow in this mode. It will fly a maximum of 20 kilometers per hour. Then there's the motion mode. The motion mode is same as GPS mode, but it allows more speed. In this motion mode, it will fly up to 40 kilometers per hour. Then the last one is the circle mode. In the circle mode, in the circle mode, the helicopter will rotate around the target or an axis. So basically, when you start that mode, then you control the direction of rotation and the speed of the rotation with the aileron stick. And with the elevator stick, then you control the length of, or the diameter of the circle that is rotating. So it's if you put that back in the middle position, it won't stop there. It will just keep that speed what you've last set. If you want to slow down, then you have to put the stick to the opposite direction. Then besides these modes, it also has automatic takeoff, automatic landing, then home button, which will enable it to return back and land. And then these are for the setting these gimbals, these two buttons, and then there's button for clicking photos and taking videos. But basically that's it. This is not being used on this model yet. Okay, now we go through the different AiBao virtual reality modes. So first of all, we have the racing mode here, where the application draws gates to the real video image. Then we have a collection mode where we can fly in the air and collect, coins and stuff like that. And then finally we have the battle mode where we can battle against other multicopters, the virtual multicopters. Then there's also the free video mode where you can just see the video and the OSD information. But let's start with the racing mode. But let's take this to the air first. Maybe take a little bit higher so we don't hit anything. Then we hit play. Now you can see the video. When we click start, then it will make the gates for us. And now we can fly through the gates here. Whoops, I missed it. Go. Yeah, victory. Then we have, well, let's bring it back to here first. Then ready for next game, and back, then try this collection mode, play, start, and now we can collect coins here. Mystery Bob, almost missed it. Oh, there's a lot of coins here. Okay. Then we click pause, go back. We try this last one, which is battle mode. Now we will get some enemies here. Yes. Good. Kill them all. Yes. Yeah. Still someone over there. Oh, it's a lot of fun. But then we go back and see the normal video mode. And this is the free video mode. Now you can see the normal video image, and it will show the battery voltage, how high you are, and how far from home you are, and what flying mode you have. Now I have the GPS flying mode. This is the slowest flying mode. I use this to practice this, but then you can move to the, now I have this motion mode or S mode, and you can see it's much faster now. Now it goes about 40 kilometers per hour. It's really stable still, even though it's flying so fast. But this is not the fastest one. The fastest one is the manual mode. There this will fly over 100 kilometers per hour. But it's getting a little bit dark here, but I can try this, but I'm not so. Then let's try the return to home mode. So click that one. And it should come back and land here. Right. Okay, now it comes back. Now it's landing. Very nice. It's exactly where it started from.